Good evening folks, and welcome to another DLC advanced preview in-depth looky sort of thing. That's the official name these days apparently. Tonight we are looking at two bits of DLC. We are going to be looking at the BR-24, not to be confused with the BR Class 24, which was a UK thing. So the BR-24 is a German steam engine, and beautiful it is too. And after that, we're going to be looking at the Norfolk Southern's Big Sevens, which is made by Digital Train Model. So that's an American diesel pack. So that's what we're going to be looking at, folks. Let's get started. So today we are going to start off with the Deutsche Reichsbahn BR-24. Nicknamed the Prairie Horse, it was developed specially for long flat routes in the west and east of Prussia. So the Deutsche Bundesbahn took over 38 locos and retired them by 1966. So we're going to be running this loco from this pack. Maximum speed is only 90 km/h, 56 miles per hour. So it's not a speedy machine, but you'll see it's quite a capable one. At what we're going to be doing. So hello everybody, I've been off air for a little while since last Friday, but it's good to see you all, and I'm looking forward to getting back into some train sim. That's what's needed. No, the BR-24 has been developed by one of our third parties, Romantic Railroads, and it's the first steam engine that they published through us, so really excited to get that one out there. I'm joined by DTG and DTG Stephen, who are on the chat. Thanks very much, guys. If you've got any questions while we go through the stream, fire them over to the team, and they will either answer the question directly or they will fire it over for me to have a look at. And I will do my best to answer it. So the general outline of what we're going to be doing today. First, we're going to run a scenario with the BR-24 so that you can take a good look at it. That's about 40 minutes. And then we're going to take a look at the Big Sevens. There's a few locos in that pack, so we're going to do that on a free roam and just fly around them, look at cabs and so forth, so you can take in what's actually in that pack. And I'm going to try and remember all the different types, and you can laugh at me when I get it wrong. So BR-24, here we are. So there are two scenarios for Hamburg-Hanover included in this pack, and I'm just going to fire up the manual for it so that I can get you some accurate information about this loco. So there's a few things included in this pack as well as the loco. So you've got the BR-24 Era 2 and DRG loco, and the BR-24 Era 3 DR loco. So there are two variations of the BR-24. There's then some scenery assets which we're going to be seeing at the end of today's scenarios. There's a loco shed, there's a coaling stage, a billboard, a water crane and a sanding tower, which are actually really clever. There's some really nice animations on those. There's a full suite of controls. The loco does have the German PZB safety system, which I'm sure I'll do really well with. And a good range of keys, lights, instrument lights, interior lights. You can open and close windows and so forth. Right. I'm just trying to look through the manual and make sure I've captured everything I need to capture. So sorry, I said there were two. Sorry, there are two career scenarios. There are 5 actual total scenarios, because the 3 of them are tutorial scenarios that you'll find in the tutorial section. So there's a learn how to drive the steam loco with standard functionality. Also practice taking water, coal and sand. I should have tried that one before. I spent ages trying to figure out how to put coal and water into this thing. If I'd done the tutorial, I would have known. And then there are 2 PZB scenarios which will show you how to actually use the loco with the PZB system. And then there are 2 career scenarios, Museumulsen, which is you are the driver of the class BR-24 and your task is to take empty freight wagons to a wagon collecting point. You may drive the scenario with or without PZB 90. And then BR-24 going home. You are the driver of the class BR-24 and your task is to take some loaded freight wagons back home to the museum. Afterwards, you have to fill the tender with fresh water and coal and the engine with braking sand. You may drive the scenario with or without PZB. So we are going to be doing that scenario, and we are going to be doing it with PZB because I like to embarrass myself on the stream live. So there's plenty of acknowledgements at the end of the manual. There's a really good manual actually that's been put together with this one. There's lots of keys. You can use the HUD as well as the in-game on the cab controls as well, and it's all documented in the hub. Right, so I think without further ado, it's time for me to shut up and get on with the scenario. So let's get into the game. Hi again, folks. So this is the Deutschreichsbahn BR24. Although what you're about to see isn't that, it's the BR Class 24 because it's on the loading screen. But that's fine. This is the BR Class 24. Don't panic, okay? So we have one person asking, what is PZB? So PZB, and I'm not going to try and pronounce it. It's a big long German word. It's a very advanced German safety system which controls the speed and requires the driver to obey a wide range of rules in order to make sure that the train is driven correctly and safely. Right, now I need to turn up the sound so you can hear it. Right, welcome driver to the 24009. We'll take the engine home to the museum. To have a better view in the cab, just switch on the instrument lights with the hyphen key and the dot key for the interior lighting. If the generator is running, press the key Y. I leave up to you if you want to drive the engine in standard mode or switching PZB90 system to have the full functionality of the engine. First, let's have an overview of where we are at the moment. So we are here on the Hamburg-Hanover line. Right, we're here in Unterlüß, ready to go back to our museum in Ulsen. There are 3 wagons coupled to our engine, loaded with needed material for the museum. Unfortunately, there are problems concerning the brakes of the wagons. That means we're only allowed to use the lowest mode of PZB90, U55. You're obliged to use the PZB90, however, if you think it's too difficult at the moment, you can exercise this later on in trying the same mission again. I do apologise if I have to keep touching my nose, by the way. I've been suffering with a cold. This line connecting Hamburg to Hanover is always very busy, and we first have to let pass the express train on the opposite platform, then slowly approach the exit signal ahead of you and wait for the clearance. Our speed on the main line is calculated for about 80 kph, so please watch your speed. Off we go, with or without PZB90. Have a good trip. Right, PZB90 is now enabled. Let's get the cut-off pull forward, release the brakes, get the, not that one, we want to get, that's the one we want. Get the generator going, we can see the cab lighting. It's time we got moving though. So this is your brake gauge, we'll see more of that as we get moving. Let's open the cylinder cocks. What you want to see is the outside. Wow, that's loud. Right, we've got a red light up over here somewhere. Now if I look at the coal mats here, we're a bit low, so let's get some coal in. Let's get the windows open, get some air in. Now as we come around here, there is a red light for us, so I just need to manage my speed a little bit, otherwise we'll have our first bad of the evening. So we're just going to roll up slowly. There's a bell and a whistle. So just waiting for our signal to turn green. At the moment we're in PZB monitoring. I'm going going to turn the coal loading off now. I'll get a little bit of braking going on here just to slow us down. So while we're waiting, let's have another look at the outside. Isn't this beautiful? Headlights, you've got off, front, and you've got the red lights for the rear as well. Just waiting for that light to go green. You can do the whistle as a short version as well if you're just tapping it. If I hold it, then when you release it you get the quill. Hopefully this light will go green in a minute for us. There we go, we've gone green. Cut off is full forward, regulator open. You've got some controls over here for things like your interior lights, which is the same as pressing the dot key. And this is the engine wheel set light, so out here you can turn on all the lights under the loco as well. Now we need you to open the dampers, and we'll get ourselves into a bit of trouble later on. So we just need to keep an eye out, because we're on PZB, if you'll notice the next signal's double yellow. Hopefully you can all hear me over this, so I'll turn my volume up just a little bit, hopefully you can hear it. So the next signal just went green, so all is good. Right, so we're on our way now, we're getting on, so our next waypoint is in Suderberg, which is in about 10 kilometres. Next signal is green, so we're clear into the next block. Right, how are we doing? Water's at 83%, fire should do with being stoked up, let's get that in. How's that boiler pressure doing? We're down at 12 bar, so that's coming down. We'll need to be aware of that. We have our dampers. The dampers are really effective on this loco. So we're doing about as fast as we're going to in this train. It's 88 kilometres now, its max speed's about 90. Pull that cut off white right back. That's it. We're about to generating steam now. That was a bore signal, which was green. Must remember to put water in the boiler later on. BR294 coming the other way. So as we're going down the line here, we'll get held up by a train at Suderberg. But now is a good time to go flying off into the distance and come and sit on the track and let's do the whole rail fan thing, shall we? Here we come. Alright, let's check our firing mass. That's doing fine. Got green bore signal again. All is good. How's the water doing? About time to get some water going in, I think. We'll get the water coming on there. Yep, water's going in, slowly but surely. Never want to run out of water. Where are we at now? 5 kilometers to our first waypoint. We don't have to stop at Suderberg, but there's a train that we're actually following which does stop at Suderberg, so depending on how close we are to it, we may get held up by it. We don't want to overfill. Let's turn the water off. There is extra animations, or not animations, but particle effects if you prime. Priming is when you overfill and you get water in the cylinders down here. And then there's also another one for if you run out and you blow the boiler up. There's lots of red particle effects come out of it. I've just found that in the manual. I haven't found it out myself yet firsthand, honestly. Why don't you believe me? Yeah, it's a 200 mph speed limit, but our train's only capable of a max of 90 at the best of times. So this is the BR24 coming soon. This is an advanced preview, and it's made by Romantic Railroads, one of our third parties. It has 5 scenarios, 2 career, 3 tutorial, on the Hamburg-Hanover route. How are we doing? Next block signal is green. Good. 90 kph, yes. I can only do 90 kph. 56 miles per hour. Right, Suderberg is coming up, which means I'm going to back off the power because we're about to get I think a double yellow VOR signal. Yep, there it is. I'm going to ease on some brakes. Now you'll hear the PZB wake up in a minute as we go over the VOR signal. And that's it, PZB. Now you've now got to slow down to 55 kilometers per hour. Although we should ideally stop before the red light as well. So we're now below the 55. I'm going to ease back on the brakes a bit. This is the red signal coming up just down here. LM2606, assume the PCB is the German version of AWS. It's a lot more than just that. But yeah, it's along the same lines. There's the TPWS is you know, if you combine all of them and add a lot more to it, that's kind of PZB. Right, so we're slowing down. We can see the red light up here now. In fact, if we look at it, you can see the train in front of us is actually still in the platform. I'm going to release the brakes and just gently roll up to this signal. That won't end badly, will it? Right. Get out of my way, train. So the train in front has actually got to not just start moving, but get out of the block that we want to go into. I'm going to stop here. It's close enough. Gives us another minute to have another look around this magnificent loco. Or we could look at trees, if you like. So one of the other things this loco's got is you can open some things. So this is the sanding pot. And then you can also open the water filler on the back as well. I'm going to wind the cut-off pull forward, ready for departure. Get cylinder cocks open. Actually, I'll open the cylinder cocks once I get ready to move. It's a lovely locomotive, isn't it? Really, the attention to detail is huge. Still a red light in front of us. Oh, we got a green light. Time to go. Let's get out of Dodge. We're in restricted monitoring because we stopped. Simply put. A bit more to it than that, but... Right, brakes are off. We are moving. Right, so at the moment the starter signal out of Söderberg is still red, so our voice signal is telling us that we need to be wary to stop. So we'll just take it easy as we go through. We're in monitoring, which means we're limited to 40 km/h anyway. There's the PZB alarm because of the voice signal. Gameplay graph, what route is this? This route is Hamburg-Hanover. We're on our way to Ulsan. We're actually just about to go through Söderberg. And the safety valves keep lifting. I'm just taking it easy at the moment because we're running very close to the train that just left Söderberg, but hopefully if I pull up to the 40 km, in fact we've just come out of restricted monitoring, so let's give it a bit more power and see if we can't get through Söderberg. And then we've got a run to Ulsan. That looks like it might be my signal, but the track does curve to the right, so let's just be wary of that. So I'm going to keep my speed at a point I can slow it down if I need to until I get firm confirmation that I can actually proceed. That does look like my signal though. Right, shall we go and sit on the platform? We have a green light, so we can just get going. Right, we've now reached Söderberg, the last step before we arrive at Ulsan. If the exit signal ahead of you shows green, you don't have to stop here. That's good, I wasn't planning on it. Right, let's check all of our vital statistics. Tyre mass is a bit low, water is doing okay. So we've got about 10.5 kilometres now to get to Ulsan. We've got time. There isn't much ahead of us now. That train leaves us for dust. So let's go up here and Oh, look at this. Look at this. Let's get rid of the HUD and all that rubbish. What's not to like? How are we doing on the... so fire mass is still going up. Iron water looks good. Actually, I'm going to get some water going in, just to be on the safe side. Boiler pressure is doing fine. It's going down a bit now, but putting water, when you put water in the boiler, you will lose some. No, the tender starts out pretty light. Ed just said there's not much water in that tender. Nope, there isn't. How are we doing? 7.9, so just under 8 kilometres to go. Water levels coming up again now. Biomass is almost back where it needs to be. Rubber cabs. This is the BR24, which is the German steam locomotive, not the BR Class 24, which is a British diesel. We don't plan it like this, honestly. It just happens. Right, water is going up and fire mass a little bit more, and then we can stop shoveling. Now as we approach Awesome, we're going to get speed restriction signal just to slow us down. Right, fire is fine. The boiler water level is still coming up. We're at 73%. If you overfill the boiler, that's called priming, and the game does simulate it. Bad things happen, as they would in real life. Yes, so Deadly Doritos Jenny, just note it's DR not DB. So DR is Deutsche Reichsbahn, DB is Deutsche Bundesbahn, and DR predates Deutsche Bundesbahn. 77%. $79. Up to 81. All things, we're looking good. I think we're going to get restricted fairly soon, actually. External HDD says credit DTG for this loco. This loco is actually made by Romantic Railroads, which is one of our third-party developers. We're really pleased to be working with them. It's very good. What are we up to? 85%. I'm going to stop the water at this point. As you can see, we've got everything tipped in the right condition, so we're now tipping the safety valves. 700 litres. I don't know why it's just said PZB turned off. I didn't do that. You know it's in here, it's still on. Right, so we've got a warning of a slow slip speed, so I'm going to start reducing now. We're going to get PZB. Going to reduce down to 55 within something like 38 seconds. Alright, we've reduced down to that, so let the brakes off. Once the brakes are off, put it back into running. Right, so green, yellow, hang on. Green, yellow means it's a reduction in speed. We've got another green, yellow coming up ahead. So what we had previously was a warning of a reduction in speed down to 60. So that was a bit close. Oops, slowing down too much at this point. We seem to have gone into PZB monitoring. I'm not quite sure why. Or restricted mode rather. But never mind. So this signal tells us 60 at this, and we've got a VOR signal green at the next one. Right, we're out of restriction now, so let's speed up to the speed limit. Which is 60. We're swinging over here. Let's give this the control box a whistle. 60 feels a bit fast through here, but that's what it says. Right, the next... Right, we've safely arrived. It's all suddenly gone quiet. We've safely arrived at the station of Wilson, and all switches are already set to take us into the tracks of the museum. So we're going to start to see some of these new assets now. So we're clear to enter this block. Hang on. And our VOR signal tells us to expect expect reduction to 40. So I'm going to begin that and get that underway now. That's the PZB. So reduction to 40 is here. I'm just going to do that now. We're slowing down gently. Alright, let's release the brakes. Okay. Back into self-lapped. We're good. Let's carry on looking outside. For those that have just arrived, this is the BR24. Complete with overactive boiler. I have got it really nicely fired up at the moment. So as we come into here, we're going to see some new assets. So there's like a steam museum billboard, and rubber cabs, emergency brake possible? Yes, if you don't actually respond to PZB correctly, slowing down or just pressing the acknowledge button, then you will get emergency brakes, and similarly if you hit the backspace button, you'll get emergency brakes as well. Right, coming over here. Got a good signal at the end here, so we're able to carry on. Very good. We're close to the museum now, which means we're at home. When you're reaching the track leading to maintenance area, you'll find all necessary installations where we can refill coal, water and sand. We take the wagons with us. The material is needed near the loco shed. First, we start refilling the finest braking sand. To open the lids, just press Z, which I showed you earlier on. Let's check our vital statistics here. We're doing all right, just considering we've only got less than a kilometre to go to finish, and we're mostly going to coast that. I'm actually going to shut the dampers now and hope that will inhibit some of the steam production. This is the first one of these billboards up here, which is new. This has been placed as a scenario placeable asset, so you can put that on the on any routes that you like. So slow down a bit now. Got another one of the signs here as we come into Alton. Release the brakes. So what we've got to do as we come round here is fill up with sand, then fill up with water, and then fill up with coal. And that's done using new assets. Now the last time I did this, I went sailing past the first one. Right. Right, now we have to stop with the sander up just over there. Ah, almost. Not quite. Sanding miss. That'll do. Let's open the sanding thing and then bring the lever out. Hopefully I've got it in the right place. Look at that! Look at that! I couldn't have got that any better if I'd tried. And you see the sand is actually refilled. Isn't that good? Let's shut the lid. We'll get moving forward once we get told. Well done. Now we've enough sand for braking. Now continue to the water crane ahead of you and refill the tender with fresh water, which, as we saw earlier on, we desperately need. So the water tender is over here, or water crane. Right, so we're going to come forward here and get lined up so that we can someone's just commented on the cows. I think that's for drivers, milk for the driver's tea. Nothing beats fresh milk in your tea. Right, once we've pulled up, so the water filling point is just on the back of the tender here. We need to line up roughly with this driver, or this engineer here. That'll do. It's probably not quite right, but it'll do for my purposes. Yep, as long as the game's happy, I'm happy. Oh, nearly. Still, it's loading up. So if we have a look here, you can see. Let's get away from the noise while it's loading up. So what we've got 7,500 litres in so far. I think there's about 20,000 litres in this tender. $15,000. It's a big old tender. 18, gets to about 20 and we're done, I think. There we go. Wow, we filled a huge amount of water. Apparently the tender was pretty empty. Now, go onto the coaling crane and take the black gold on board. So let's head over to the coaling crane. This is another custom asset that comes with the product. So again, moving forward. Get moving forward. Hello. Thank you. I got a new whistle and I'm going to blow it. Right, so we need to line roughly up here with the main part of the tender. I quite like this one actually. This is probably my favourite of the three. I'm not going to get many points for this scenario because I should have finished a minute ago. But oh well. Right, let's load up the coal. Almost there. Right, excellent. The engine is ready now for tomorrow, when we will celebrate our day of the open doors. The last task will be to park the engine safely in the loco shed for the night. Slowly go in the direction of the shed and wait for the doors to be opened, and then drive the loco completely to the end of the shed. So as we roll up to the shed, there go the doors. There's also a door on the side, so let's walk in here and just wait for the loco to come in and get parked up. So this loco shed is also an asset that comes with the train. So we have to be all the way in here. When I say all the way, I mean all the way. This is a big train. It's about head height, I think. Very good. This concludes. Oh, and I got an operation error because it picked me up thinking I'd stopped and I hadn't actually stopped yet. Oh well. This concludes the mission driving our beauty 24009. We'll leave the engine under silent fire since the night crew will prepare her for tomorrow's day of the open doors. Excellent. Right, that's the end of that scenario. Let's not look at the score. That was not good. I got 846 when I played that earlier on. I'll have you know. And that minus 200, we'll just, forget that. My son is in front of me and he's laughing at me. Stop it. It's not nice. It's not nice, I tell you. So that was the PZB. That was the PZB 90. No, that was the BR24. Let's just have a quick look at the page again for that one before we move on. This is the BR24. It comes with 5 scenarios. It comes with 3 standard scenarios, which are tutorials, and it comes with 2 career scenarios. All the scenarios are on the Hamburg-Hanover route, and is in addition to 2 variations of the loco, it also comes with a few scenery assets. Scenery assets. I thought I was going to say scenario, but no, I didn't. I got it right, and I doubted myself. And that's the sanding tower, the water tower, the coaling crane, and the loco shed, and the billboard. So you can place those when you make scenarios yourself. Right, folks, it's time for some -7s, I think. So, on without further ado, pressing the wrong button, big sevens. So this pack is by Digital Train Model. I've just had a question mark come through. Okay, yes, before we go any further, let's put the brakes on and just reverse back to that one. Who wants a BR24? I've got a couple of them to give away because, you know, everyone here is really generous and they give me stuff to give away. In order to do the giveaways, the way that it works is that I give you a keyword, you type it into the chat. If you're not on the chat, you can't take part. And I will, oh, my brain's just gone completely. I'll give you a keyword, you type it into the chat, and then after a minute or two, I'll get the computer to tell me who's won. Get the computer to do things because apparently I can't. So the first keyword is romantic. Since Romantic Railroads are the people that actually make the thing, I'm going to go with romantic as our first keyword. ROMANTIC is the keyword. All in lowercase letters, please. If you could type that in, that would be great. I'll just wait for it. That's it. We've got some people entering in now, so I'm going to give that one a minute or two. So we've just been looking at the BR24 by Romantic Railroads, coming soon on DLC. It's scenarios for Hamburg, Hanover, 2 versions of the loco and some scenery assets that you can use. There's a couple of people typing romantic in with a capital R. If you can type it in with a lowercase r, please, otherwise it won't catch you, it's case sensitive. And rubber cabs, you've typed it all in capitals, you need to type it all in lowercase, please. Let me just write that in. If you have typed it in wrong or think you've typed it in wrong, please just type it in again. It's fine, it'll count it. I'm going to give that one an extra few seconds just to allow some people to retype it in case they got it wrong, because the number of entries is a bit low. Come on folks, you know you want it. It's brilliant loco, this. That's better. That's better. Come on. Romantic, is that Rome antics? Antics in Rome? I don't know. Okay, on that, I think I'm going to go for that one and get the computer to pick a number. I'm going to give the countdown actually, same as I always do. Everyone likes the countdown. If I don't get the countdown, I don't know what they'll do. There we go, there's the countdown. And rolling it, not Henry Cat, you are our first winner. So let me make a note of your details against that. And I think we need to do another one because. Now, some people were already guessing the code before I did this, and I just did an about turn because you were already typing it in. BR24, because I'm slightly evil. BR24, lowercase please, little b, little r, number 2, number 4, no spaces, no hyphens, no, just a b, an r, a 2 and a 4. That's what you need to type in, and that will get you into the giveaway. And after a minute or so, I will pick a winner. Well, I'll press a button and get the computer to click a winner, because I can press buttons and the computer does all the hard work. Good, we've got. My son is now making funny faces at me. Stop it! Right. So we've got a few people entering in now. BR24 folks, lowercase b, lowercase r, number 2, number 4. And I'm going to do a countdown now, so let's do that. Excellent. Roll that number. Liam Jackson, 1991. Congratulations, you are our second winner. Typing one thing and saying a different thing just messes my head up. Yes, congratulations to Liam Jackson. Okay, so I think we need to move on now and look at some big American diesels. So congratulations to Not Henry Cat and Liam Jackson 1991 for your DRBR24. When the pack is released, you'll be someone will get in touch with you and get the keys for those products to you. Right, so moving on, Norfolk Southern Big Sevens. So in this pack there are not one, not two, but 5 variations of the Big Sevens. There is 2 variations of the B36-7, which is the 4-axle variation, and there are 3 variations of the C36-7, which is the 6-axle version. And I believe it or not, the 6-axle came before the 4-axle. So I'll show you the variations actually in the game. We're not going to run a scenario with this pack. We're going to do just a free roam, get in each of the locos. The problem with the scenario is you can look at the loco or the one that you've got, but you can't actually you can't actually look at all the different locos very easily. And we'll also look at some of the other features that are on the loco as well. Scenarios predictably are for the Norfolk Southern Coal District route. Right, so on that note, I think what we'll do is I've got a little free roam that I prepared earlier. Moving on. Come on, game, wake up. Need to put a penny in the meter. There we go, it's woke up. And let me find... Here it is. Let's fire that up and go into the game. So these locos are made by Digital Train Model. DTM have made a ton of different locos actually, like I think the GP30s, the GE44s, the DDA40X. So there's a wide range of locos that DTM have published, and this is the latest in their series. The Big Sevens, Norfolk Southern. So here we are on the Norfolk Southern Coal District, and oh, I'm going the right way. There's a bonus. Oh, listen to that. Hopefully you can hear me above the noise. So this is the this is the first version. This is the first version. This is one of the B36s. This is a high hood B36-7. Now the high hood B36-7 I know you like to hear the horns and bells and things. So the high hood is actually dual seat controllable. So you've got a second set of controls for running short hood forward, or a set of controls for running long hood forward. You've got wipers, instrument lights, we've got the cab lights. We've got all the things that you would expect from a DTM locomotive. Put the cab light on again. Like I said, so this one's actually dual controllable. This is the only one of the pack that is actually dual controllable. So you can run it long hood forward, or you can run it short hood forward. So that's the B36-7 high nose, or high hood. This is the B36-7 low hood. Just got a conventional nose on the front. You'll notice it actually looks very similar to the Universal series, like the U36 that we have at the moment, and that's actually intentional. The design of the U-boats for the Universal series locos was very popular. So when this series, the Big Sevens, were designed, they carried on with the basics. They used that as the design. So let's have a look inside this one. So this one, the conductor's seat is facing forwards. It's meant to drive short hood forwards, and you've got doors and windows and cab lights and wipers. Let's get back in the engineer's seat. Instrument lights, cab lights. I believe there's other stuff going on outside, like I don't know what the controls are, but I believe there's step lights and things as well. As usual, if you open the door here and go outside, you can see the door is still open on the outside. So that is the B36-7. Now the B locos have got 2 axles, so these are what we call a bow axle, a bow axle. Same with this one here, it's a bow, a B.
The C axles have got 3 axles on each one, so they were the CO type axles. In the UK, these would be COCO trains. One other detail, by the way, that I'll just look at on here is you'll notice that they've got their origin, the railroad they came from, on here as well. So this one's keeps disappearing, but this one's a Southern, this one's a Conrail, this one's Norfolk and Western, Conrail again, and what we got in the end here, another Norfolk and Western. So this is a C36-7, so it's a very similar locomotive, but now we've got a COCO arrangement. Put headlights on. Oh, we're driving that one. Let's drive this one, shall we? So we've got the lights. I believe you can turn the marker lights on. Let's have a look inside. So we've got a range of switches and things here. Instrument lights, cab lights, front headlights. That's the throttle. Let's get the throttle out of the way. Ditch lights, there we go. Got ditch lights. Ditch lights on solid. And ditch lights off. Different horn on this one. There's the bell. Again, you've got your usual complement of windows, doors, and cab lights, and other doors, and other doors. Pretty much exactly what you'd expect from one of the locos that Digital Train Model make. It really is. It's nicely done. Now, one of the other things that's different, these locos on the face of it look very similar. They're both C36-7, and they're actually different, and it's because of the trucks. The trucks are these things. In the UK, we call them the bogies, but I guess Americans are too posh to call things bogies. So this is the trucks, and this is an Adirondack set. So these are this C36-7 has got Adirondack trucks, and this has got GCS. I think they are trucks, which you'll notice are a different shape. You know, so these ones are sort of a flatter design, whereas these ones are much more curved in their design. And that's the main difference between these two designs, is whether you've got the GCS trucks or the Adirondack trucks. Now this is a phase 1 with GCS, and then this one is a phase 2. Now, before I go any further than that, something I learned, a little bit of trivia, and it's going to help you understand something a little bit when we go over. Who knows what that means? This is an F at the front of a loco. I've just given it away. The F is at the front of the loco. So if you want to know where the front of an American loco is, they've all got this little F on them. There is nothing at the back. It's always at the front. So you can tell that this loco is actually designed to go long nose forward. And similarly, this one has got the F here, where you'd expect it. And this one's got the F where you'd expect it. And so's this one. And then I came to look at this one today, and I thought, well, here's the front. Hang on, where's the front? There's no F. Ah, here's the F on this end. Well, that can't be right, surely. So this is a C36-7, and it is a phase 2 with GCS trucks. And if you look at it, when you go in the cab view, you are indeed facing the wrong way round. It's only got one set of controls. If I switch to the the conductor's seat, there is no second set of controls. We are facing long nose. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. So as usual, cab light, instrument light, windows, doors, yada yada. You know the drill by now, folks. Yeah, so the idea is that that train actually drives that way round, which was interesting for me. If you look at the engineer and the conductor in here, you can see they're facing that way round as well. So that's the difference with that one. So this is the C36-7 with GCS trucks, phase 2, long nose forward. So that, folks, is the Big Sevens pack. Let's just run through that one more time. So it's 5 locos in the pack. We have the B36-7, and it is a high hood. Let's go to the other end so you can see that. high hood locomotive, and it has got the long nose forward. This is the B36-7 low nose, which drives short hood forward. Oh. Sorry folks, I'm desperately fighting off a sneezing fit. This is the C36-7 with the C trucks, Norfolk and Western unit, and it has got the low nose on the front. This is, and that's got the Adirondack trucks, and this is the C36-7 low nose at the front and the GCS trucks. And this is the C36-7 GCS Phase 2, GCS trucks Phase 2, with the long nose at the front, and it's a low nose at the back here, even though we don't go that way. So there you go, folks. That's the locomotives. What we thought we might do, let's just give this one a bit of a run just down the line. Have I picked one that's actually going to go somewhere? That's what I need to know. Oops. Just so that we can hear some engine sounds. It's not hauling anything, so you're not going to hear lots, but let's at least get some engine sounds going. We're speeding, but I'm happy with that. The idea is to show some sounds off. So let's get the ditch lights turned on. So got the flashing ditch lights. No, we haven't. If I just turn the headlights. Is that the ditch lights? I think the ditch lights are this one, aren't they? Yeah. That's better. Now we've got ditch lights. Let's turn that on. I'm not worried about speeding, like I said. I never worry about speeding. Exactly. External HD says, Matt, you're always speeding. I thought you might want to see a train going, that's all. Let's ramp up to run 8. Right, let's not. We're going a bit fast through the town here. Slowing down. Before we run into a major problem. The people won't notice, it's fine. Clearly they will. If we get 30 limit in a minute, we can ramp up again to 30. And then I think we'll call it a night on looking at the big sevens. So while we're running down this around the street here, this is the Norfolk Southern Big 7 spec. This is coming soon. Again, this is another advanced preview. There are 5 Big 7s in the pack, covering a variety from the B36s to the C36s. And there are scenarios for Norfolk Southern Coal District. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you how many, but I think it's 3 or 4. It's nice looking loco, lots of features in the cab. So while we're going out, let's get the windows open that window, and we can open the door, shut it again before we get in trouble. Let's open this door. Operating seats, we've got the standard 2 engineer and conductor seats. Right, we're about to get the 30 limit. I'm going to run it up into run 8 just to get the full engine sound. That'll do. Right, let's bring it to a stop. It's a lot easier to do that kind of thing if you've got 10,000 tons behind you. Like a loco on its own, it roars off like a jet train. Right, that's us stopped. There you go. Right, let me just give you a roundup then of what we have seen tonight. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to leave those sounds running because then you can hear some more engine sounds while we do this. Let's go back to that one. Hiya. And we'll do another giveaway, I think. Because I know you're all saying, oh, I want one. You can have one. So, the keyword is going to be DTM, all in lowercase. So if you type DTM, I'm not going to spell it for you, into the chat, all in lowercase, make sure it's all in lowercase, no dots, no hyphens, no uppercase, just D followed by T followed by M. That will get you into the giveaway. I'll call that one in just a minute. Right, I've got 2 copies of this. Right, so I'm going to call that one once I've done the countdown. And we'll see who the winner is. Jimmy the Bomb won. You are our first winner for the Big Sevens. And that will be, let me just paste your name in there. Right, we've got one more. Who wants another one? Who wants one? So our first keyword is 7. S-E-V-E-N, not the number 7. The word 7. In lowercase letters, no symbols, no commas, no dots, etc., etc. 7. S-E-V-E-N. You know you want to do it. Good, we've got some people entering now. S-E-V-E-N, just in case anyone was Northwest Train, spelled it like almost like the film, but not quite, because I think it's S-E-7-E-N, isn't it? It's not 7 either, it's nothing to do with the river. It's nothing to do with the Severn Valley Railway. How do you spell 7? S-E-V-E-N. Right, in that case, I'm going to do a countdown. 7 of 9. 10. And I'm going to roll that one. Gameplay Graph. You are winner number 2 of the 7s and 4 of the whole evening's giveaways. Right. So, congratulations to Jimmy the Bomb 1, Gameplay Graph. You've won the Big Sevens. Not Henry Cat and Liam Jackson 1991, who won the BR24. Folks, you're going to get a Twitch message once the products are released, telling you how you can get and they'll come with a code that you can then type in along with instructions for how to do it. Let's just have a quick look again before we finish up and we play some fishing. So DRBR 24 is the first thing we looked at. That's for romantic railroads, scenarios for Hamburg, Hanover. And the Big Sevens, 5 variations of the Big Seven locos, scenarios for Norfolk Southern Coal District. And that one's by Digital Train Model, DTM.